Well, hello and welcome. Welcome to Arts and Wellness Wednesdays. I'm Amanda. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome. I'm really looking forward to sharing what I have to share with you today. In today's episode, I am going to be looking at the arts and creativity and mental health. And at the end, what I'll also be showing you is ways in which you can work in your journal, different types of journals that you can have. And I really look forward to, if we've got time, doing a page in the journal. Okay, so let's get on. How have you been feeling? I think this is something that we have to continually check on ourselves, how we are actually feeling. What this situation, it's a global situation that we are all experiencing, how is it affecting our day-to-day lives? And so how has this situation affected you? And if you're a creative, how are you actually incorporating or allowing it to speak through your art or creativity or whatever it is? How are you actually working through how you're feeling? Because I think it's something that we're just experiencing it all. And I could even say for myself, I think since it's happened, I think I've written about it once. I mean, I've shared online aspects, but I haven't actually sat down and written how I feel. And it's really important for you to address that. I've producing more art, and I think maybe how I'm feeling is actually coming out in my art and being expressed in that way. But you have to have some sort of outlet that you can fall back on, as it were. And whether it is that you take on a new activity, say for instance you might be new to visual arts, you might be new to photography, or new to, because you've decided to take on a skill. So, think about what it is you can do to ensure that you are expressing yourself, even if you do not have the words to say how you feel. How are you expressing yourself? How do you plan your day? It's important, and I've said this before in other recordings. Sorry, I'm a bit sniffly today. So yeah, you need to have some sort of structure to your life, especially in this time, a structure to your day. I was talking to different people in different generations, and they both talked about, it's like the listlessness, the feeling depressed, the feeling unsure of what's going to happen, the not knowing what to do, and then the kind of the feeling of, it was despair, because it was just like, oh, it doesn't matter what I'm going to do anyway, it doesn't matter what you do anyway, because it's almost like nothing good's going to come of it. But it was just like, what's the point? And I think a lot of people are feeling that, like, what is the point? The feeling of not having, obviously if you've lost your job, that's going to impact on where you live. It's impacting on being able to provide for your family, and a whole range of things that you just took for granted, or we take for granted all the time. That, times can be hard, or, there's difficulty. But suddenly everything, it's like the rug has been taken from under your feet. And I had recently been watching a lot of these programs about the homeless, because I was thinking to myself, well, if this is the situation for like the general population, what about those people who don't have a home? How are they managing? What's the situation for them? And so I started watching these, I can't remember the guy's name, but his channel's called Invisible People. And he shares the stories of the homeless. And he does 10-minute video or, whatever. And they're talking about their lives. And a lot of them, are saying, they've been they'd rather not go to a shelter because, like, you've got 30, 40 people to a dormitory. There's no way you can socially distance in these places. There's sanitation, you know, in terms of washing your hands, there's no toilet paper in the bathrooms, you know, no proper facilities, and it's just like you're more likely to get sick in that environment than you would be out on the street. And it was just like, even practical things that I just never thought about. You know, how do you go to the toilet? If you wanted to go to the toilet, you're homeless. You know, what facilities are you able to use? The idea that it's really expensive. So, you know, people are finding themselves, families are finding themselves on the street. And so, you know, that is a worry for a lot of people. How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to, you know, just buy the essentials? And it's a really, really serious situation. So the effects on your mental health is especially in this time, really apparent, because so many people are going through a situation where they've never in their wildest dreams. But it's just like, we have 4 generations of people going through this, and the effects on mental health is going to carry, you know, it's like, it's not something you can say, oh yeah, it's all right now. You're just not able to go out. It's just like, for me as an artist, I have to look creatively at what I'm doing. I mean, all the things I did before are all the things I'm doing now, and then some. I'm doing more things. And I think it's important. I'm so blocked up. It's like, yeah, it's important for us, it's important for me to be creative. And so one of the things that I've been doing is just spending a bit more time on, it's like the detailed work. I've been doing a lot more things like small weavings. And oh, I'm excited. I'm excited about something I'm trying branch weaving. So cool. Yeah, and looking at how I can actually do more things creatively. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to check to mention, that this idea that you're one paycheck away from being homeless, you're one experience away from having a mental health crisis. You know, there's varying degrees of it. So let's think about our creative activity, and that's one of the things that I want us to look at. A lot more people are connecting online, exercising online, doing art courses. I do a lot of videos, so I hope that you've been able to look at some of the art videos if you're into, you know, the visual arts, or even the gardening videos where I talk about growing a food forest in a tropical environment. I think it's really to look at how, I mean, for me, I want to encourage you to do something creative, to try something new, to step out of the comfort zone and, you know, try something. The other thing that I'm doing is what I call the creative encourager, and I'll share the image probably there on the screen. And basically what it is you can connect with me and we can speak for 2 free half-hour sessions, or if you want to just roll it into one, you can. And it's about, if you want to share, you know, your next steps in terms of creativity, you want to talk about a creative activity, you want to maybe try a creative activity and you don't know where to start. Hopefully by the end of the sessions, you will have found a way of taking the next step. And if you want to, you know, talk further, then we can arrange that as well. And yeah, it's really for you to, you know, sometimes you just really need to talk out an idea with somebody that you don't know. Or, you know, if you know me and you want to chat, that's fine. So, but it's yeah, I just encourage you to, you know, take me up on it. I think I have there's 3 sessions a week, and so basically you just go online, pick a time suitable to you. No matter what time zone you are, it will show me my time zone, so we can connect at the right time and we can talk. Yeah, so I suggest you do that, and we can make some inroads. So there's also some other additional online opportunities if you want to be creative, and you can share what you're doing. If you know, want to get more people involved, then it's the London Arts in Health Forum, and I'll put their link in the notes as well. And as I promised at the beginning, I'm going to share with you some art journals and the different types of art journals, and even try and do like a quick page. It's only going to be like a 10-minute thing. So if you're interested in, you know, getting into art journaling, you can see how easy it is to start. Okay, so we are going to just quickly look at a selection of art journals, and art journals come in all shapes and sizes, and I've used them for a whole range of things, and I'll just literally briefly go through them. I will be doing a longer, say, flip through and talk about them. I did a series where I showed 31 of my art journals, and so some of these may be in that list, and some not, and I've been making new ones as time goes on. I'm always making art journals. I just find even just the making of an art journal, it's a therapeutic experience, and it's also just in the making, the folding, the creating, the binding, the stitching, however you want to make your art journals. And as I say, these are a variety of different types, and I will just briefly go through them so that you just get a taster, really. So this one on the top, it was it says pray until something happens, and it was a prayer journal. So the lady that I was working with, it was her name was Mika, and we ended up kind of collaborating and working together. So was it week? I think it was every week she would name a scripture, and we would then have a discussion about that scripture. And then the way that I interpreted that in my journal was to write the scripture and then write out what it meant to me. So this was a nice I enjoyed that activity, and I enjoyed bringing my art along with my faith as well. I think it's important that you allow your creativity to tap into every part of you. So this was the my prayer kind of art journal. Let's see this one. So this one, and I think I've shown this one, was I brought a craft pack. The craft pack was £1. In it had papers and all of these different things. So out of it, you know, there was a flower in there as well. And so I made, you know, fabric beads, and I just filled it with, like, I made tags for myself, and they had work, put words on. And this is kind of like an ongoing one, because where I've made tags, I've left them blank, so I can come back and write on them as and when I wish, as and when I'm feeling it. And then I've got a section that's private, that I've left private, where it's just about me chatting to myself and me working through different things. And so there are, you know, sections that I've just closed off, sections where I've, you know, created an image, and then you know, written about how I was feeling. And again, it's important to be able to find ways to express yourself using creativity, and that's what I do. This one was a course that I did, and so this one's actually made from a piece of canvas, and I painted on the canvas. And then made, like, you know, this tab that you can close. And again, a lot of my art journals are either there's an image and writing. This was a course that I was teaching on, and the pages were inspired by the lessons that the teachers were teaching at the time. And again, it's just about expressing yourself. And for me, it's about expressing myself and allowing my creativity to tap into those parts of me that I, you know, can't really explain what I'm feeling, what I want. This is a newish one. Again, I started with just writing it, having a page that was coloured and then just writing, and that was nice up to a point, but I realised I like having imagery in my journals. So these are journals that, this one was made out of card. This one is a book that I brought. Yeah, it was, I'll show you the pages. It was, I brought it in Asda. So the pages were just grid pages. So I just utilised that. This one I made, and I haven't yet finished, but as you can see, it was a newsletter, but the pages were nice and thick, so I thought to myself, you know, once this is gessoed, this is actually going to take paint quite well. This one again is just random papers I had around, and I've layered, you know, put some paint stuff layered on some of the pages, layers of paint, layers of, you know, collage paper, and stamped images. And these are stamps that I created as well. So I'm going to share with you how to do all of that. And then, as I say, pages that I prepped. Some of the pages, I was working on another page, and then I just added the excess onto a page, and so they're ready for me to, when I'm ready to go into them, I can. Pages where I'd started some artwork and then it kind of left over the years, so again I just brought them together because I work on watercolour paper. I worked on watercolour paper in the past, and so some of the artwork that, you know, you might want to repurpose, I thought, you know, why not use it in an art journal. What else have we got? This is just a notebook that I've just covered the paper. What's here? Again, an old, this was a catalogue for a an art show. Look, there's my work there. But I've just covered the pages, and this will be a nice journal to work with because I like this size of journal. Yeah. I've got an old prospectus here that I utilised, and I've just covered the pages, stuck some of the pages together, and then utilised it to journal on. But then, you know, pages where there's images, there's writing as well. Fabric journals. Love fabric journals. Working on different fabrics. So there's a selection of things that you can work in, and you don't have to, if you don't have access to, you know, say going to an art supply store or being able to get hold of certain things, look around you, look at what you've got, look at old bills. But it's very easy to create on a page, and what I've showed you is a variety of different ways in which you could create a journal. Okay, so said a lot there today. I wanted to kind of keep it concise with a blocked nose as well. But I hope that you've picked up something that has been informative for you. And I hope so. Stay blessed, be a blessing, and I will see you on Friday. This is my 3rd week with artist Gwendolyn Brooks, and yeah, I hope that you find ways that you can share and show your creativity. You can connect with me on various platforms, so I look forward to hearing from you. And yeah, take care for now, and let's get on with the art journals.